Hello, beautiful people. For those who don't know me, I'm Nast. I make music. I make music videos. I make art. I've been doing this for years. I make art in every form that I love. This year, I stopped calling myself a music artist and I just started calling myself a creative director and stuff because I couldn't find an appropriate word for what I do. And it's 8:49 a.m. now in New York. I literally just woke up, ugly, puffy, and not how I would show myself on the internet, right? And the reason I'm impulsively filming this on my laptop that was literally just right beside my bed is because I woke up this morning to what seems to be a billion people hating on one of my posts on Instagram because I used AI to generate it. For context, the video is me underwater-ish, well, obviously AI, with an octopus on my head. I had a conversation with a photographer that I know in Berlin a few weeks ago, and we spoke about AI and how it should be used differently and it shouldn't be used for the purpose of taking, I guess, I don't know, that's not grammatically correct, doesn't matter, taking people's jobs in creative fields. And I still stand by that. I don't think AI should be generated for full shoots where the model isn't real, the makeup isn't real, the clothing isn't real, the setting isn't real, etc., etc., right? So something that could have been produced by a whole team, you get what I'm saying, right? That would be taking people's jobs. For context as well, I'm the kind of girl, clearly, which these haters don't know because they haven't followed me throughout my journey, but I'm the kind of girl that creates the weirdest videos, and my music video featured the real Raven, and it was produced by like a gazillion people. It was a team that I've worked with for the longest time. It also involved an AI artist that generated images that we could not replicate in real life, like me sitting in a cocoon, like dripping slime and stuff, you know? Yet where we could incorporate real slime and all that stuff, we did. My point is, I use AI when I can't do something real. If I can work with real wolf dogs, you know, like trained animals that come with their handlers and stuff, like we did from a music video, I do that. If I can't, I don't. Also, I really wanted to get into AI. I never used AI once to work on my music. That's something I'm against with as well, etc., etc. Yet, for some reason, I'm being hated for using AI generally because AI wastes water, which I cannot deny. You know, I worked in sustainability for 3 years, actually, before I started music. I worked in sustainable fashion. I started the first zero-waste premium women's wear brand in my country that I spoke of in my podcast and everything. Like, I'm not new to this shit, right? And what that taught me is that there's a lot more to it than people think. In a sense where sustainability isn't a one big thing. Like anything else in the world, it can be radical and you can fully stop wearing non-organic clothing. You can fully start drinking tap or filter and not buy plastic bottles. You can make your own juice and stuff. You can do all these things, yet there's no perfection, right? Because if we think about it, drying your hands with a paper towel wastes paper. Drying your hands with like in a hand dryer, for example, like a Dyson or stuff, yes, they waste less energy because Dysons are better in that sense, but it's not like they don't waste any energy at all. Using a towel will require you to launder a towel with a laundry detergent that will possibly have phosphates that kill fish, and also the microplastics from your towel will fucking kill the ocean, right? You can opt for a cotton towel, but that will waste cotton, and cotton requires a lot of water, right? Things like that. A lot of people don't actually know how to recycle. In my country, in Russia, where I'm from, our country is not good at that, obviously. However, in Moscow, where I'm from, we have independent recycling centers that solely work and rely on volunteers. And you will go there and you will have 1,000 different bins for, you know, pens, cups, lighters, vapes, I don't know, different fractions of plastic, because it's not like you will load all your plastic in one place and then that will get recycled into one thing. Plastic is not one thing. It's a lot of different fucking fractions that need to be recycled separately, and some of them cannot be recycled in certain countries. So your shampoos 99% of the time, shampoo bottles cannot be recycled. And that's something you people don't know for the most part, right? It's not like you don't use any shampoo, right? So what I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to educate anyone here, right? Because that's a whole separate topic. However, what I'm trying to say is that there's no perfection in sustainability, and every single person that works in sustainability will tell you that sustainability is about your everyday choices, is about choosing the best possible option. And think about research in sample sizing, think about the fact that if all of the people did a little bit, just a little bit, every single day, then we wouldn't have the sustainability problems and ecological problems that we have today. So when people say, yeah, it's the big corporations responsible for keeping our planet alive, yes, you're absolutely right, but it's not just up to them. If you keep doing shit, it's not going to make up for it. Even if they stop doing everything that's harming for our ecological well-being and health and etc., etc., if you don't do your part, even 1% a day, that's not going to change anything, right? And all those haters that are talking to me about AI, 100% are not radically sustainable, right? That will be bad research. Like, that's just not physically possible. And I know the world and I know the industry well enough. And I'm not talking about people who study sustainability. I'm not talking about big companies. I'm talking about the customers that I saw every day when I had my brand, for example. I'm talking about the people that I saw coming to the ecological events, right? Like in sustainable events for awareness and such and such. I heard their conversations. Like, I'm a lot more educated in the topic than you think I am, actually. And all that is the reason behind my choices. And you do not need to be radically sustainable for it to be good, because unfortunately we live in the world and we live at a pace where you can't do that, you know. Sometimes when you're late to a meeting, and then I'm just throwing things at you, right? Like, I'm not giving you like facts or something. I'm just throwing whatever comes to my head. When you're late to a meeting or like a job interview or something and you can't make it, you will choose the fastest possible option. And sometimes that's not subway or a bus. And actually, older buses still have a shit ton of emissions, right? Generate. Anyway, you get it. Compared to like the subway or stuff. But anyway, sometimes it will be a car. And if your life depends on that meeting, you're going to take a car, right? And this one person that I was fighting with, that was actively, aggressively pushing on me for using AI in my octopus on the head generated image that I did myself, that I'm really proud of, because my face is not distorted. I'm mouthing the words to my song. This is one of my first works. I'm not wearing any makeup, so no makeup artist could have contributed to this, right? I'm wearing like a super simple, like beige bandeau top, so I'm not using like a brand or anything, which I have before as well, actually. But, you know, anyway, for this particular image, it's super basic. The only thing is the fucking octopus. I told that person, I was like, okay, listen, one question. How many times this week have you left the tap open when washing your hands? How many times have you bought a plastic bottle? How many times have you left your shower to warm up this week? And they go, oh, but AI is literally depleting like multiple cities of water. Yes, it does. It does. I'm not saying it doesn't. But you doing all these things and millions of people doing the same things combined do the same exact thing. And that's what people don't get about sustainability. They pick a villain, which is currently AI, and they just start hating on things. And to me, that's like a sheep effect, right? Like, it's like when a lot of people start doing something, everybody starts doing it. And that's also the reason behind I'm getting so much hate on that post, because a couple of people commented like, oh, fuck AI, and everybody's like, yeah, fuck AI. People are just like that. But let me be honest with you. When you yell at me for not having done my research, I've actually done my fucking research. If you knew anything about me, you would have known that I'm not the kind of person to fucking kill the environment. I make my choices every day. I do the best that I fucking can. I actually think about it 24/7 because, again, I worked with it. Like, I actually saw the behind the scenes where you probably haven't. All you read is basic like articles on the internet that tell you things, but you don't actually look further. I sincerely doubt that you spend hours and hours a day researching everything, not just AI. If you picked AI as an evil, I don't fucking know, what does it matter, code thing, then you'll probably just be researching it. I also have a psychology degree, you guys. That you know, I'm not saying I'm a psychologist or an ecologist or a scientist, but you know, I do have background in all these things, and I sort of kind of, you know, a little bit understand your fucking behavior behind this. Yeah. My point is, don't go around hating people. When you're writing these comments, you're wasting water as well. Being on the internet wastes water as well. Cryptocurrency wastes water as well. Anything with a code wastes water as well. Your fucking microwave wastes electricity. How many issues have we had in the past year where, I don't know, factories fucking killed people in different small cities, and those because of, again, emissions and, you know, oil leaks and things like that. And these factories, sometimes they're not always making hazardous materials. Sometimes those hazardous materials are just a byproduct of what they're making, and that can be your fucking toilet paper. You never know. What do you wipe your ass with, right? Do you get my point? All of that is a choice, and you can't just pick one thing to hate on. If you want to hate on it and you actually stand behind everything that's sustainable, if you're actually that eager to save the planet, I am honestly so fucking proud of you. And in no way am I saying that you shouldn't give a shit about sustainability. No, that's one of the things that you should care about most in your life. But if you actually try to pursue that in the most radical way, you will soon understand that the world we built by our own hands as human beings is not built in a way where we can live radically sustainable, even when you live on a fucking farm. Because again, toilet paper, you guys, toilet fucking paper, right? We're all human. That's just kind of ridiculous to me. And it's not my first time being hated on the internet, honestly, and it's fucking marvelous how that has happened to me already 2 or 3 times, given that I'm not a big artist or something. Like, I'm just a human being making songs, and I feel so bad for people who are much bigger than me that get that get hated like that, because I'm like, okay, if at my level this feels like that, what does it feel like when you're huge? Not pleasant, I'll tell you that. And what actually feels horrible about all this is, like I said, you don't fucking know me. What do you know about me? Maybe do your research, maybe go on my profile, maybe ask questions, maybe, I don't know, listen to my podcast, maybe listen to my songs, maybe read one of my interviews and see what I've been through and what kind of a human I am and what kind of life that I lived. And then ask me why I make my choices and why I'm like this. Because I'm not the person that's blindly buying my water in like a shit ton of plastic bottles and just keep them in the house so it's convenient. And I know people like that, and I'm not like that. And that's a lot worse than generating one image of an AI with an octopus in your head. You know, also, let me just say, when you Google something now, AI also takes part of it, because Google has now Gemini built in everything, including your search engine. There are some things you can't avoid, but there are a lot of other things where you can make your choices better. And that's what you should be focusing on, instead of wasting water by hating on a random human being on the internet that you just found because you saw an ad on Instagram. That's all I have for you today. I'm fucking tired.